Hello and welcome back to Roommates. The only question is now, where to start? Clearly there are 4 rooms to visit, if I include the main hall here, and there are probably clues in each of them, not to mention my friends. I guess I just have to figure out which one to visit first. Okay, let's start by investigating the main hall. Time to investigate the main hall. After all, there is a body to look into. I look around the room, just to get my bearings. There are some stairs going up here, though that seems to be out of bounds for the game. The main entrance is here too. The butler appears to have gone back outside to wait for the police. The body lies before me. Whoever did it up did a great job. It almost looks like a real person. A real person who's had the back of their skull caved in. The body is wearing a very nice 3-piece suit that's been treated very roughly. Whoever got to him must have had a fight on their hands. There are holes and tears all over it. The man was also clearly quite well to do. A gold watch peeks out from under one of his sleeves. I almost don't want to touch the body. The effects are so real. If you need to search for clues here, ma'am, feel free. Thank you, butler. Well, I guess that's as much of a push as I'm going to get. I take a look at the watch on his wrist. It's definitely seen better times. The strap is nearly broken off, and the face is definitely broken. A little blood has gotten onto it, on the strap and the knob on the side. The watch hands have stopped moving, stuck pointing at 7 o'clock. I decide to go through the pockets of his jacket as well. After a few moments of rifling around, my hands grasp something. It looks like a key. It's very small, with one of those round bodies like they use on vending machines, so it's probably for a lockbox or a safe or something. This guy doesn't seem like the type to need to get into vending machines very often. There doesn't appear to be anything else of note on this body. Well, butler, I think it's time you told me what you know. Exactly what happened here. Very well, here is the sordid tale. I was here when the master returned from work at 6 in the evening. He was certainly planning on throwing a costume party tonight. All of the invitations to you were sent off ages ago. At 6:55, the master noticed that we were dreadfully short of port for the evening. He immediately sent me to acquire more for the night. Obviously, I don't really know what happened while I was gone. I arrived back from the shops at 7:30. I entered to find the hideous scene you see before you. I called the police, of course. But then you all began arriving and, well, you know where we got from there. Did you hear any strange noises when you were leaving? Any sign of a struggle? If you assume his watch broke at the time of the assault, it wasn't long after you left. No, I don't recall hearing anything unusual as I left. It was actually very quiet. And there was nobody here when you got back? No, I checked all the rooms and nobody was about. Are there any other entrances or exits? There is a back entrance, but it was still locked when I checked it. Alright, well thank you, butler. Of course, ma'am. I think that's all I'm going to get out of this place for now. Well, that was certainly a good place to start. The question is, where next? Well, let's go to the study. Time to visit the study. I think Isabella came in here. Someone even put a few pipes on a coffee table between some of the chairs. They probably haven't been used, since I'm pretty sure there is a no-smoking building. Isabella is sitting on one of the chairs, idly leafing through a book. I don't know if she's reading it or not, actually. Hey, Isabella. Oh, hi there, hon. Finally come to see what was up? I've been looking forward to seeing you. Hi, Isabella. Have you discovered any clues? I may know some things you don't. The real question is, how are you going to get me to tell them to you? Oh, I have ways of making you talk, Isabella. It's actually pretty fun playing the investigator. I always loved the femme fatale types in the old crime novellas I've read. Isabella, for her part, leans back in her chair, crossing her legs and steepling her fingers as she looks me over. Oh, do tell, I'm all ears. Well, I guess I could, interrogate you? Oh, does a little girl want to use a little force to come and get what she wants? I do like a woman who knows what she wants. Isabella's teasing me again, but it does work well for a character like hers. I can't buckle now. That's right, Isabella, I do know what I want. I walk over to her chair, putting my hands on the armrests and leaning my face close to hers. And what I want is for you to tell me what you know. Everything you know. Isabella smiles a sort of languid smile as she looks into my eyes. Well, since you asked, so nice. So what's your story here, Isabella? Well, you know Mr. Brody was my boss. We worked together, for God's sake. I've been his secretary for 3 years now. Did you have any problems with your boss? Of course not. We got along famously. Everyone knows he was always hanging off my every word. And was there anything else going on between you two? I'm sorry, what? What do you mean? Well, come on, Isabella. It's the oldest story in the book, right? beautiful secretary and the old lecherous boss. So you do think I'm beautiful, eh? That's progress. I try not to blush. She's trying to throw me off the scent, which is proof that something is going on. I decide to try a different tactic. Of course I do, Isabella. You're damn pretty. How long did it take you to have him wrapped around your little finger? Oh, not long at all. Wait. Fine, yeah, we messed around a bit. It was nothing serious, just a bit of harmless fun. Ha! I knew it. And did his wife know about this harmless fun? Well, if it's harmless, she wouldn't really need to know about it, would she? I figured. So where were you around 7? Don't remind me. That was before we got here, right? You asked why Chad didn't come? Well, just out the patrons at my cafe. They'll tell you why he didn't come. We had a huge fight when he told me how to go bail someone out of jail. He left at 7, and I went home to prepare to come here with you. How far away is the cafe from here? I don't know, about 15 minutes? Okay, one more important question. Take a look at this for me. I hand the key over to Isabella, who turns it over in her hands a few times before handing it back. Looks like a key to one of his safes. I'm surprised there was only this one. Must have had 3 dozen of the things. I don't know which safe it goes to, though. He didn't generally let me add his safes. Well, thank you for your time, Isabella. No problem, detective. Hope you find out who did this and bring them to justice. Isabella winks at me and goes back to idly leafing through her book on a comfy sofa. Well, there was clearly an affair happening between her and Brody. But that's not necessarily evidence that she did it. I'll have to look into more things. As I return to the main hall, I pass by a couple of the other guests in this murder mystery. I hear a quick snippet of their conversation. I hear Mr. Bodie was about to break things off with his mistress. No mistress takes kindly to that sort of thing, especially if they're not doing the break-up. Well, anyway, that's another room down. Only question is, where to go next? Well, let's investigate the kitchen. I think it's time to visit the kitchen. Maybe I can catch up with Rakesh. I wander down the hall into what looks like a little break room. There's a refrigerator and a microwave in here. There's even one of those little electric grills plugged in. I see Rakesh applying peanut butter to some bread slices at the counter next to the refrigerator. Digging around inside the fridge, I see a girl I don't know. Let me know when you find the jelly, Roxanne. Yes, I'm looking. I don't know if they have any. How did you talk me into this anyway? Because I make an excellent sandwich. Hey, Rakesh. Anne! Welcome, I will get more bread. What is a kitchen without snacks, Who's your new friend? This is Roxanne. Apparently she was staying here in the building to sort out some of her affairs. Oh, and what affairs would those be, Miss Roxanne? An unfortunate murder case in the Great Hall is my father. He called me here under some pretense of having something to tell me. It was apparently going to be something about his new lover. Honestly, if he wasn't paying my way through college, I wouldn't have listened to anything that old bag had to say. He was quite well-to-do? And how did you fit into his plans, if you don't mind me asking, miss? Hopefully I didn't fit into them all. He was a terrible person, a womanizer and a philanderer. You still took his money to attend school, however. Have you seen the interest rates on student loans? Sure, I did what I had to, but... I hated that man. I hated him to his bones. I won't deny it. I've got nothing to hide. Roxanne slams a jar of jelly onto the counter next to Rakesh and storms out of the room. Rakesh finishes making the sandwiches and hands me one. Well, Rakesh, what's your story? Did you know the man in there? Ah, yes, well, as to my story. I'm not sure if you ever saw me around the office. I was Mr. Bodie's bodyguard. He did not feel I was necessary when he was at his own office. Still, I saw you a time or two. He was your boss as well, eh? Did you get along well, right? Blah. Oh yes, he was a very strict boss. You didn't like him. Oh, that's not true at all. Well, maybe a little true. I was not fond of him, but one does not need to be fond of one's employer to remain employed. Is that correct? I suppose that's true. Surely you could have found someone else to work. Mr. Bodie was very persuasive. You don't sound like a loyal employee. Perish the thought. At any rate, I did not have anything to do with this terrible crime out here tonight. That is for certain. So where were you around 7 tonight? What time was that? An hour before we got here? I was just finishing up with an art class. I was doing a bit of life modelling. I didn't know you did that. Well, art is a bit of a side passion of mine. We both chuckle at that. Mr. Bodie said he wouldn't need me tonight, so I took the opportunity. Just one last thing, Rakesh. Can you take a look at this for me? I hand the key over to Rakesh. He looks it over, seemed very nervous for a moment. Where did you get this? From his body. Do you recognize it? It Looks like a key to one of his safes upstairs. I suppose it's good you got it from the body. I was afraid it meant that his keys had been stolen. You recognise the safe it goes to? Oh, I just guess it just seems like the right type. Well, I'd like to show it around, so if I could get it back? Oh, yes, there. Sorry about that. No problem. Okay, well thank you, Rakesh. Make sure to find me if you think of anything else. Most definitely. Thank you, Anne. I think there was definitely more to Rakesh's relationship with Mr. Brody than he's saying, but I'll have to figure it out as I go. As I return to the main hall, I pass by a couple of the other guests in this murder mystery, and I hear a quick snippet of their conversation. I hear Bodie's daughter married some worthless mook who's bled her well dry. Once a mook gets started, it's usually pretty hard to let go. Anyway, there's another room down, and the question is, where to next? Investigate the sitting room. Looks like a common room, but with a nicer TV. It even looks like someone brought in a small bar. Upon closer inspection, it looks like it's got all kinds of juices, but no alcohol. Which makes sense, this is school property after all. I made myself a quick glass of juice and scanned the people here. Max is sitting on one of the recliners next to the TV, watching some kind of sports highlights coverage. A few other people are sitting in various other parts of the room. They all seem to be nattering about nothing. Come to think of it, I haven't really seen all those people here much. Most of them must have just come in here to discuss things. Looks like a bunch of them have juice glasses. Hello, Max. Hiding out in here, huh? Well, maybe a little. I have my reasons. Well, speaking of reasons, maybe we should talk about your story here. I'm so all over this case, Max, and I'm gonna solve it. So out with it. Alright, it's not like I have anything to hide, cutie. Don't you cutie me, you're not gonna distract me. Yeah. Look, Mr. Brody has 2 daughters. His older daughter Hillary married me. Shotgun wedding? What? Oh, please, like you're the marrying type, Max. Hey, I could be. What if I found the right girl? Or 3. Exactly. Anyway, according to my card, I married her, so shut up. Stay in character, Max. You were doing really well. You're really enjoying yourself, aren't you? Getting into this sleuth stuff, don't you? Oh yeah, I used to love all those pulp detective novels. Back to you. Why'd you do it? The money? Hey, the money was just a nice perk. I don't think that makes me a bad person. Take it Mr. Bodie was against it. Well, he wasn't exactly thrilled, but he didn't object. His daughter's a grown woman, so she can make her own decisions. So he didn't get along with Mr. Bodie. Maybe not at first, but he gave me a job at his company, and we've been fine ever since. I'm not his favourite person or anything, but we're not sniping at each other either. So where were you at 7? Hillary asked me to make nice, so I didn't leave the office until then every night. You can check with everyone at the office, they'll tell you. So how are Hillary's finances these days? She's doing fine. Max looks away from me for a moment, watching the television screen. Okay, one last thing, Max. Can you take a look at this for me? I hand him the small key. He turns it over a few times, then hands it back to me. It's one of his safe keys, probably one of the ones in the office. Keeps all the really important stuff in there. You know, the dirty stuff. Dirty stuff? Hey, he was a big businessman. You don't think that was all sunshine and rainbows, do you, doll? Nice. Do you know who he might have had dirt on? I don't know. His bodybuilder, no more. He was pretty deep in. Alright, I suppose that's enough for now. Thanks for your cooperation, Max. No problem, Sleuth. Good luck in this case. It's a tricky one. He winks at me as I leave the room. As I return to the main hall, I pass by a couple of the other guests in this murder mystery. I hear a quick snippet of their conversation. Oh yeah, it was a big blowout fight. I couldn't even get service at 7 in the cafe. It was awful. Well, anyway, that's another room down. Only question is now, where do we go next? Right, I'm going back to the study because I want to talk to Isabella about the fact that apparently he was intended to break it off with her. Back to the study. Maybe I missed something. Isabella is still here. Hey, Isabella. Welcome back, Anne. You're not getting anything else out of me, no matter how good you are. Just to recap, we'll be fine, Isabella. So what's your story here, Isabella? Well, you know, Mr. Birdie was my boss. We worked together, for God's sake. I've been his secretary for 3 years now. Did you have any problems with him? Of course not. We got along famously. Everyone knows he was always hanging off my every word. And was there anything else going on between you two? I'm sorry, what do you mean? Oh, come on, Isabella. It's the oldest story in the book, right? Beautiful secretary and the older lecherous boss. Right, since we've seen a lot of this, I'm gonna speed through this. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Okay, that was fun. Know nothing about it. Figured. Round 7. Big fight. Cafe's pretty big. Okay, apparently I can't Yep. Okay, apparently from there I can't actually yeah, our life model totally bailed my class early. He like left 10 minutes early. Well now, seems someone bailed out an obligation in a hurry. Okay then. I think it's time to gather suspects and make an accusation. Butler, gather the people. I think it's time we close this case. I'm going to save it here. I'm not going to save scum it, but, you know, I like to have save games. Very well, madame. The butler runs around, gathering up the other suspects in this little mystery. Tonight, someone in this room committed a heinous crime. Someone who thinks they've gotten away with it. Unfortunately for that person, I happen to show up. I've yet to meet a mystery I couldn't solve and a perp I couldn't finger. Isabella snickers behind her hand. I try not to blush. She's really quite terrible. And that's why I brought you all here, before the scene of the crime, because it's now quite obvious who the killer is. Who? Easy, Rakesh. Okay, so... what do I know? Isabella's covered, because they heard her having a big fight. Max... Rakesh is the only one whose alibi doesn't hold up. I take a last look around the room, drawing a quick breath as I begin. Business can get ugly. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You can never know who you can trust. That's why you make sure you're the one with the edge. How you get that edge? Well, that's up to you. Mr. Bodhi, for instance, chose to get his edge with dirt. Blackmail. Isn't that right, Rakesh? After all, that's how he got you to work for him for so long. I don't know what... You didn't get here at 7. The butler would have heard the fight leading up to the murder. I have no doubt your alibi checks out almost until 7, but you checked out a little early, didn't you? You got here while the butler was away. You were sick of being a toady, so you came in to search Mr. Brody's safe, see if you could get out. But he caught you, didn't he? You gave chase and caught up with him, smashing his skull in with the first thing you could find. And then, for good measure, smashing his watch when you were done. Well, the blood on the apartment doorknob, I can tell you set the time back to 7, so your alibi would check out. But you could never get to the safe to get what you needed, because he had the key on him the whole time. I flashed the tiny safe key. This key here probably unlocks a whole ton of dirt on you, doesn't it? No, do not open that safe. I am not a man of means. When a man like Mr. Bodhi gets something on you, it is impossible to get out from under him. I had to do this, do you not see? It's the way it had to be. He had to be stopped before he could do this to anyone else. Poor Rakesh. Tell it to the police. Congratulations, Anne. You've solved it. Well, he actually seems to like the fact that I accused him. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have. I want to thank you for coming out for the Alpha Theta Rho Fraternity's Murder Mystery Evening. If you would like, please feel free to join us for a party proper at our house. Everyone claps loudly for the butler, who takes a bow. People start heading out the door. The Latin House roomies gather in the lot. I can't believe how much fun that was. Did you see me in there? Definitely. You need to channel some of that all the time, Anne. Oh yeah, you were definitely working it. She wasn't the only one. Well, hey, if you've got it, flaunt it. But I can't believe they made me the other one with some sleazy old businessman. Well, if the shoe fits. Watch it, jackass. Everyone laughs as Isabella threatens to bite Max, chasing him around the lot. That was a lot of fun. To pretend to be someone else for an evening. I suppose this is what Halloween is about, yes? I suppose that's very true, Rakesh. Nice work. Well, now that I'm done with pretending to be a sexy office worker, I think it's time to pretend to be a drunken vampire who wants to get some research material. Hear, hear. Are you really just going to pretend to be drunk? Everyone just stares at Rakesh for a moment before we all head off, laughing to the frat house. Right. For God's sake, get your energy up. I think... Okay, spend the entire day in bed, which has built my energy up, and not a terrible amount. So I have class, recharge... Okay, it'll go down again, but hopefully it should be reasonably balanced. So let's do this. New event. Save. Done. You know what? I think this is going to be a really good week. For a change, I'm actually getting out the door without running into something crazy delaying me. The last few weeks have been ridiculous. Everyone else has already gone to class, so I locked the door behind me as I head out. Or at least I thought the others had gone off to class. Looks like Sally's coming back. She looks really nervous about something. Her eyes are darting all over and she's walking with a bit of a hunch. I hope she didn't hurt herself. I walk out the gate and give her a wave as I turn towards my class. Oh, Anne. Hey, I forgot a book. Okay, yeah, she's definitely terrible at hiding things. Sally runs past me and heads up the door without looking me in the eye. I can tell she's struggling to keep her jacket closed and get into her pockets at the same time. I suppose I could go over and help. That just means getting tied up in whatever crazy scheme she's got going on today. And I don't know if it's worth it. Oh, it's worth it. I let out a little sigh. I'm getting entirely too caught up with these people. I head back towards the door, reaching into my pockets to fish out my keys. Here, let me help you with that, Sally. Oh, Anne, sorry, I thought you'd gone ahead. Yeah, could you grab the door for me? Sally struggles with her jacket for a few moments, looking around shiftily. Everyone else is gone, right? It's Dominic's TA day, right? I think so. Why, what? Before I can finish my sentence, I hear it. A small whimper, like a small dog whining. Is that what I think it is? Sally sighs and opens her jacket, revealing a tiny puppy. Ah, sorry. Oh my god, he is so cute. He's pretty adorable, isn't he? Yes, he is. Where'd you find him? He was just wandering the street down by Main Avenue. What? Did you ask around about him? Of course, I don't just go around stealing dogs. I didn't say that. Anyway, he was about to go wandering into traffic, so I scooped him up. I looked all over, but nobody claimed him. I don't see any tags or anything. Who would abandon a cute little guy like this? I don't know. It happens a lot around college towns like this, though. People get a pet and then have to move away for some reason, and they just abandon their poor animals. Sally looks like she's about to cry just thinking about it. Well, for now, let's get him set up inside. Come on. I unlock the door, step through, and take off my winter coat. You do know this is totally against the rules, though, right? Dominic will freak out if he finds out. Well, I'm not telling if you're not. Well, I'm not going to leave a poor puppy out on the streets. You can count on me. Here, stay here and cover him up. I'll make sure the coast is clear. Thank you, Anne. I really appreciate your help. And so does little Vegemite. Vegemite? Suddenly I hear a rustling from the kitchen. I try to sneak a bit closer. That's when I see Dominic's hands pushing the door open. Crap! I've only got a moment to figure out what to do before he comes out here. Count to 35 before coming back in. I slam the door on Sally, shoving her back outside. Now, what to do? I'm going to ask him for some help. I think I know how to distract him. No, that doesn't work. I don't get it. This problem's just too hard. Anne, what are you still doing here? Don't you have class? I've got to go pretty soon, but I've got this problem that's been giving me a lot of trouble. Math? Well, I'm not too bad at that stuff. One would give it a look with you. Oh, would you? One of my professors had actually given us an extra credit question as an assignment. It wasn't due for a few weeks, so I hadn't started on it yet. You can see where it gets confusing, right? Oh yeah, this is kind of a crazy one, isn't it? I put down some paper on the dining room table as Dominic sits down to look over the problem. Behind us, I hear the door start to open, so I start talking to cover the sound. So if the cos of the wave is pi times the radius squared, but the tangent is at 73 degrees, you can see my problem. What? That's just gibberish. What has your professor been teaching you? Well, maybe that's my problem. I take a quick look behind us as Dominic starts showing me how to actually resolve the problem. Sally is already up the stairs, giving me a thumbs up motion. I'm really glad I could help her out. I'm just glad you could help me out. I've only got until 9:30. No problem, man. I remember when these two wait, it's 9:15 now. What? Oh my god, my watch is wrong. Do you even have a... Thanks for your help, Dominic. I've got to go. I make a quick retreat out the door, leaving a confused Dominic in my wake. I'll have to check on Sally later. I say some of these are quite cute. I just don't have time to read them out. Right. This to me seems like a pretty good opportunity to end this recording session because I do unfortunately have things to do. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in future videos.